I'm Chris Crosby, CHRISCROSBY. We'll see where Kirk goes with it. He can kind of go wherever he wants, but I would imagine we'll talk a bit about the scarcity of labor. I would imagine we'll talk a little bit about maybe there's a bubble, maybe there's not. I imagine we talk a little bit about the sheer volume of new entrants that are coming into the space, and we may venture into what it takes to build a business. Who knows? We'll see where it goes. Thanks for the comment. I'm a recovering computer scientist from way back when, so went here to University of Texas, so hook 'em. Started out in telecom. I was a member of scientific staff doing C++ programming back in the day, and I got to work at, it was Bell Northern Research, Nortel Networks. Went through a long journey there from telecom, and then got into the data center space when telecom bust happened. And knowing those assets where we had installed all of this equipment over the years, was a pretty big advantage when I was negotiating bankruptcies on who was going to stay and who wasn't. So that was the advent of a company that became CoreSite, which American Tower purchased. And then after I got fired there for a year, started what became Digital Realty Trust, the predecessor to it, the operating side of that. And then we took it public in 2004, had a great run there, and then started Compass at the end of 2011. So quite the journey. Well, we're always about closely coupled supply chain. So that's very important to us. It's a core tenet of our strategy. So for us, having partners, people that you can have lunch with, people that you can go to dinner with, people that their kids, whatever, that's super important for us. I think they should be talking about how do you actually implement it at scale. It's one thing to say you're going to spend $5 billion. It's another thing to see how you can physically move it, have with the people and the materials and all of the factors that come into it to actually make that occur. We've been funding, started vocational schools, providing scholarships for that. We started something here in Red Oak, Texas, with the Texas State Technical College. We're big believers in it. And that gets back into how do we do all of this stuff, maintain all of this stuff. And with the level of stuff that we're doing at the factory versus it all having to be out in the field, it really does create a whole lot of new opportunities and job opportunities for people who love to create with their hands and love to do things that build. There's nothing more satisfying as a human being than seeing something that you build. Passion. Just the passion.
Kirk is the guy, right?
Yeah, I think, people are attracted to passion. And when you have that kind of passion, that's going to lead to success. I think the biggest way that I would phrase it is the recognition to see the uncertainty. So there's a recognition now of the uncertain nature of what these workloads are going to be and how they're going to be. And I think the most mature recognize it faster and look for flexibility around that. It's a very hard problem to solve. It's a very hard problem to solve at the scale that we're doing. You can't just stand up these things overnight. So it's comfort in uncertainty. So we really look at it, we try to take into account the asset useful life. So how long is that asset going to be? And what we want to do is we want to design, like we believe in 100-year campuses that are going to go through multiple, a few large-scale refreshes and a whole lot of little refreshes in terms of what goes inside the data hall. And so how do you align those things? Because the financing, the capital needs to be lined up around that too. I think that there's a gap in the market right now. I think there's a lot of single purpose type of facilities that are getting built. God bless you. That's matching a short-term asset with a long-term liability. And, that kind of gets you to we work for data centers. So I think there's some challenges out there.